Happy Sunday morning. Hopefully, you're enjoying a nice cup of coffee and a bagel. We're here with the Contrarian Show, the secret menu, the plays behind the plays. I don't know what you're drinking, Baker, but I hope you're enjoying it. It's Sunday morning, but it's like late Saturday technically for us because consider it Sunday because we haven't gone to sleep yet. I just got off of work, Baker. I don't know what you've been up to, but welcome. I'm very excited to get into the secret menu, the guys that no one is talking about, the plays that'll get you to the top of the tournament brackets that you need to sprinkle into your lineups. So, Baker, thanks for staying up late with me. And yeah, man, I'm ready to jump right into it. We don't need no intro. We don't need nothing. We just need to get into the plays, get into the position, quarterback, running back, receiver, that other position we don't talk about. And yeah, man, I'm just ready to jump on in. Baker, how you feeling, man? Before I get started.
Well, while you were at work, I was playing a video game that's 8 years old, I think. 9, if I can math. 7? I'm playing Madden 16.
Why?
Like that screen behind me, that's pause, is Madden 16. Why? Because I just stopped buying Maddens and I still want to play kind of. So I'm like, yeah, I'll play Madden 16. This is my 4th time playing through a 30-year franchise.
Baker, I actually got what you should do is actually buy the new Madden, right? Or have someone buy it for you. And then instead of paying for Run the Sims, you could just simulate week 1 over and over and over again in Madden and just tell me the plays that stick out.
You know what? I like the way you think. That's not going to happen before we wake up tomorrow, but I like the way you think.
In the future, take it into consideration. So I'm just putting it out there for you, man.
Somewhere out there, there's somebody who does that when it comes to building their lineups.
Well, I'm gonna save me some money. I'm gonna go ahead and just simulate Madden. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. Either that, or I just gave a bunch of people some ideas. Like, wait a minute.
It's like I could do that,
right?
I got Madden.
Yeah, let me get these rosters updated. Let me go ahead and X out Mark Andrews real quick. And then simulate week 1 a bunch of times. Just see what happens. But I'm excited, man. I'm just happy that football's starting tomorrow. My anxiety levels are at an all-time high. I just need that man to just tell me one thing at about 104-ish, right?
Are we talking about 7 hours?
Yes, that quote. That's all I need to hear. That's all I need to hear tomorrow, man.
I mean, that's how you know football season's officially back. Scott Hansen and his terrible dad jokes announcing 7 hours of commercial-free football.
Facts. So, Baker, I'm going to give you the rundown real quick before we get into the low-owned plays, somebody that you're considering for tomorrow. I've got my player pool pretty much narrowed down. So you could tell me your opinion on some of these guys. And obviously, I know, Baker, you're going to disagree with the Baker Mayfield take. You don't have to comment on him. It's fine. But everyone else, I just want to see your thoughts. So okay. The quarterbacks that I'm using tomorrow, in no particular order, of course, Geno Smith, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, Baker Mayfield, and the only late swaption right now is Jalen Hurts. So when we get into ownership, like I said, for Jalen Hurts is going to garner some ownership, which, a little handful, because it seems like everything's flat for the most part this week for right now.
Yes, absolutely.
So like getting somebody like below 5% is probably going to be an outlier for this week, but it's not necessarily Jalen Hurts. It's his stacking partners that I have a problem with the ownership percentages on. So we'll get there when we get there, but my late swaps are all set up for if I'm taking shots at 1:00 and they fail to a certain point, I will get off of Justin Herbert, which we know who's going to be kind of chalky, and get right on Jalen Hurts stacks. So I've set up pretty much every lineup to make that swap, and I'm prepared for it. So any initial thoughts on the QB pool that I'm using, and am I missing somebody that you're going to be using tomorrow?
I mean, I've kind of fallen in love with Geno throughout the course of this week, which that just sounds so weird coming out of my mouth. Like, the more I've thought about it, I'm like, I really like Geno Smith. What is wrong with me?
My man.
I'm sober saying this. Like, I was at work, sober. in saying
Yes.
this.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gino, baby. All right. All right. Go on. Proceed.
Obviously, I'm not going to comment on Baker Mayfield. The hurt business is the interesting swap to me. I haven't quite gotten there yet. Like I know I mentioned on Wednesday show, potentially a mini in there. I'm still trying to work through that in my own head. You've completed a lot more of your homework assignment than I have, as I'm a last minute, let's get this homework in type of guy. My swaptions are my swap thought process is a little different than yours, but absolutely, I'm going to be on Justin Herbert. Going to be on Tua Tagovailoa. God, that man's name's difficult to say.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it 100%. But like I said, I set up my lineups to the point where it's if A happens, B will happen. And if B happens, then what happens to A? So obviously, like I've mentioned in previous videos and podcasts and stuff, dude, if you're not late swapping, you're not trying to win tournaments. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Absolutely.
If your 1 o'clock dies and you're just gonna sit there with a dead lineup with chalk coming up at 4 o'clock, like why do you even play DFS? Honestly. Again, it's statistically proven that less than 10% of DFS players use the late swap. And why? I just don't understand. Why would you sit with a dead lineup and accept that you're losing money this week when you could resurrect lineups at 4 o'clock with some of these low owned plays that we're going to discuss today? So I just don't get it, man.
I think one of my biggest late swaps is probably going to be at wide receiver. That's been one of the things I've been trying to work through, especially today. With me having a short work day on my professional side, I've gotten a lot more time to kind of dig into certain things. So I think one of my biggest late swaps is going to be at my wide receiver position.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get there, like I said, when we get to that position. But I think because we'll mention him now, Tyreek Hill is probably going to be one of the most, if not the most owned receiver on the slate. Like he makes for the perfect late swap option. Like you need to get off of Tyreek Hill if your 1 o'clock starts to fail. Like you gotta go. I mean, you gotta go. Simple
Absolutely.
as that.
Absolutely. And this is, to be honest, to be transparent, this is what I was trying to work my way through. Do I just build every lineup with Tyreek Hill? Period. Build everything with Tyreek. If it's working, stay. If it's not, move. I mean, obviously that gets me off of Justin Jefferson pretty much immediately, and I'm fading him, which scares the living crap out of me.
You not playing?
What am I going to play, Justin Jefferson and Tyreek?
It can work this week. I mean, you're talking to a guy that's playing Baker Mayfield, so I mean, everything works with Baker lineups.
It does. You're right about that. But like, if that's the route I'm going, so if that's the route that I go, but I want to use Geno as my quarterback, now I've priced my way out of damn near any running back because both of Geno's main stacking options are expensive.
Yeah, unless you go completely punt with one of the tight ends or something like that. I completely agree with you. Yeah, I mean, some of these premium double stacks are very expensive this week. You're talking Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Slim Reaper. You're talking Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Like you mentioned, Geno, Lockett, Metcalf. Those premium stacks are going to be pricey. I mean, even with the discounted price of Mike Williams, a guy like that, Keenan, Mike Williams, and Herbert are still
expensive.
Salary cap restrictive. Yeah. And if you throw in Tyreek Hill to that, it's well, what now? Right. What now?
Yeah.
But we just had, a cheap tight end option open up for us. We've always had the receivers dumpster fire 3K crapper receivers on DK. They were kind of there too. And the running back position isn't that price prohibitive this week. But again, we haven't even got past quarterback first, but there's running backs that are at that cheaper price point that aren't getting ownership. So I'm wondering where all the ownership at running back is, minus Austin Eckler. I'm shocked at some of these numbers, but we'll start at QB first and then kind of work our way over. So is there any low owned QBs that you're thinking about using tomorrow? Because I only got one or two that I was contemplating, but for the most part, my core is pretty much set with those guys I mentioned to you already.
I mean, there's not much else that I'm working my way through. If I end up on a Justin Jefferson team, obviously I'm putting Kirko there. I think the only other quarterback that's potentially in my player pool is T-Law. But that's just a game that I might be okay Xing out altogether just because I'm not certain what kind of fireworks there can be. So T-Law at this point in time, probably I won't end up on him, but he's still in my thought process of,
Yeah, I mean, like Ridley's price is not prohibitive. Christian Kirk, for some reason, is garnering a lot of ownership. I talked about it on my video today that I posted on YouTube. By the way, if you haven't looked at the YouTube channel, go ahead, search in the DFS Daily on YouTube. That Evan Ingram is not getting any ownership either. So, like, if you want to
no.
stack T-Law, you do have other cheaper options. I think a lot of people are waiting on the wait and see game with, Calvin Ridley, which I get. But by the time you wait and see, it's too late. So if you're going to get on right now.
Yeah, if he blows up week 1, you missed your shot because he's going to be mid-7s next week, easy.
Yeah, I mean, some of these wide receivers, you got to take advantage of the price discount now because even like, a guy like Chris Olave, like I think his price is a little too low compared to what his ceiling is projected to be for the rest of the season.
Absolutely.
There's several guys like that. But again, I think Calvin Ridley is the perfect example if you're going to be building T-Law stacks. I don't think this game is getting enough love for some reason. I don't think it's going to blow up or anything, but at the same time, like this Jaguars offense, we've seen can throw up some numbers. So the Colts going to fight back? That's your real question. But other than that, I don't mind some Trevor Lawrence.
That's the biggest question. It's definitely not the Jaguar side. It's the Colts side because obviously Anthony Richardson, he's a very raw player. So we don't know what to expect with this. Do we play Pity City? Do we play one of the random tight ends in Indy? Do we
Alec Pierce? Anyone?
Alec Pierce, the pride of Cincinnati.
Hey, yeah, man.
Yeah. And I think that's the most difficult thing when it comes to trying to play that game. It's not the fact that, just like you said, it's not the fact that we don't think there can be points. It's
right. It's like, do you want to run it back on the other side? And it's the same thing with my thinking with Jalen Hurts. That's why I only have him as a late swap option right now. Is because I don't want to take any Patriots.
I gave you the Patriot to play. I gave it to you.
Listen, the good thing about the Patriots side is that it is relatively inexpensive. So no matter who, even Ramondre is inexpensive. So whoever you put with that side, I think you'll be okay.
Absolutely.
It's just like, it's tough. It's tough. I want to ask your opinion real quick on Lamar. So he was going to get some ownership anyway, not to the point where it might be double digits, maybe, if it's double digits, 10 or 11. But because Isaiah Likely just opened up, do you think people will be more inclined just to say, well, I was playing Isaiah Likely anyway because of, the value that opened up? Are we going to see more ownership move towards Lamar?
I don't think most players think that way, unfortunately.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
I think we're going to see a lot of one-off Isaiah Likely teams. Which makes me, honestly, if I'm going to go the Isaiah Likely route, since that's opened up, it makes me want to just double Lamar.
I mean, yeah, at that point, if you're going to say, this game could have some pushback from the Houston side, and that's the same deal with as the Patriots are the Texans, is that their options are super cheap. I mean, you could throw in any of their wide receivers, Dr. Schultz, anybody that you want to from Houston as a run back, and you still have room for, you still want to fit in Tyreek Hill in your Lamar stacks, you can go ahead and do that. If you still want to fit in even Austin Eckler at that point, you can still do that.
Absolutely.
Lamar, Likely, Bateman, or Odell, or Flowers. Flowers is only 4K on DK. So it's like, and then you run it back one of these Houston guys, you got all the salary. So that's why I propose that question to you, because I think as a result of the Likely news or the Mark Andrews news is that people are going to be more inclined to actually say, you know what? I'm just going to run Lamar stacks. Forget it.
For some reason, I don't feel like Lamar's going to get steamed up here. I really don't. I feel like we're like, when we turn over the cards tomorrow at 1:00, it's going to be a lot of one-off Isaiah Likely teams.
You know what that does? And again, I'm segueing into running back, but I shouldn't yet. But that just makes the J.K. Dobbins teams I have more viable.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like you're not going to put in two Ravens, right? Unless you're stacking Lamar.
And here's the thing: if you're going to put in two Ravens, it's not going to be with J.K.
Correct, because he has very little to no receiving prowess. So I guess I mentioned him now, but J.K. Dobbins is a guy that's going to probably see his ownership dip only because Isaiah likely opened up. So but again, we'll get there here in a second, but still. Only quarterback I really kind of want to sell you on at low ownership is, again, I made a video today about it, is Derek Carr. So again, it's not really Derek Carr, it's the matchup. So it was more so like this Tennessee secondary is sauce. And we
Absolutely.
used to call, and I'm pretty sure people still do, New Orleans the Coors Field of fantasy football. And they're at home going against a trash secondary. We expect Olave to break out. We have Michael Thomas healthy. We got a cavalcade of tight ends with the island of Foster Moreau and Juwan Johnson. Like, his stacking options are there, and they're relatively inexpensive. The run back is simple on, the Titans. Derrick Henry. Don't consider anybody else. It's Derrick Henry. And then kind of moving forward, I'm not saying that Derek Carr does have the ceiling to break a slate, but you don't need him to, not at this price. So, thoughts?
The only thing that I like about Derek Carr is Jamal Williams is stupidly owned right now.
Pivot.
That is the main reason why I could get behind that thought process. Is like Jamal Williams is an auto fade. If he puts me to bed at 1 o'clock, he puts me to bed. I'm staying on that island. Done. Like, I'm not
I really
playing.
don't see that happening though. I mean, like, Jamal Williams last year was touchdown dependent anyway. So
Absolutely.
It's like, and I get it. I get the fear of everybody. Like, you can't mention New Orleans without mentioning Taysom Hill. No, what if Taysom Hill falls? What if Taysom Hill? Man, stop with this Taysom Hill. All right, he only scored 7 times last year. Like, just stop. If you're scared to play New Orleans Saints players because of Taysom Hill, like, why are all y'all playing Jamal Williams then? Shut up with this Taysom Hill crap. Okay, he's still gonna be the gimmick guy. I don't know if this season's going to be different, but last year he did lead that team in carries inside the 10-yard line, which is
Absolutely
completely nutty to me. But that's the reason why they brought in a guy like Jamal Williams, so they don't have to go to Taysom Hill. So, like, stop with the Taysom Hill crap, okay? Like, their pass catchers are going to be just fine. The running game will be okay. But like you said, it's a direct pivot off of Jamal Williams. If you think he's going to be owned at X amount, and no one's playing Derek Carr, no one's playing Michael Thomas. A handful of people will play Chris Olave, of course.
Yes.
No one's playing Juwan Johnson, especially now because we got Isaiah Likely open. Like, large field tournament, it's right there. It's right there. There.
It's right there.
Right around that area. That area.
Yes. But I can buy Derek Carr. The only problem for me for Derek Carr is his ceiling. I mean, what is Derek Carr's legitimate ceiling?
On a good day, it's 303. I mean, I'm sorry, on a great day, it's 303.
Great day. On an average day, he's going to give me 250 and 2. And is that enough for me to take something down?
But again, at this price, do you need to reach the bonus with him? Do you need him to have a slate-breaking performance? I honestly don't think so. I really don't.
By the way, completely on a different topic, this right here, extremely dangerous.
Okay. What did I say? Citrus Squall?
Yes. It is a golden. Oh my God. It is a double golden ale.
Okay. I'll be out on the lookout for that.
It's not going to be in stores very soon. I actually bought a case from work.
Oh, you lucky son bee.
Well, that's the advantage of being in food and beverage.
Get the inside scoop.
So I bought a case from work, and I'm like, yeah, I started it when we started the show. It's already gone.
That's what's up. Any other quarterbacks we're missing here? Like I said, I think we commented on, a guy like Jalen Hurts. We commented on, like I said, some lower owned plays. Your T-Law play does make sense, even though I think he's going to have a little bit of ownership. I really
mean,
don't have any other thoughts, to be
the
honest.
only other one would be Jose Brose. But there are some weather potential issues here in Cleveland, so that's something that we got to keep an eye out. The forecast is calling for rain in Cleveland.
It's supposed to rain. Yeah, I got you.
Shocker.
Yeah, it's supposed to rain, but not
Uh,
like rain.
I mean, I don't give a damn about rain anyway.
Yeah,
But
seriously. Yeah.
I think Jose Brose is the only other person that I would contemplate, but I feel like I'm not even getting there myself.
Yeah. Like I said, I really only talk about players that I'm personally going to play. Like, I don't want to spit a bunch of nonsense at people like, oh, Sully, you said this, but you don't even play. Nah, man. Like, me and you, we put our money where our mouth is, period. That's just what we do.
And that's why I'm saying it tentatively, just because of the fact that I'm really not getting there myself, but he's still in my thought process. Like I said, I'm late to turn my homework in.
He's there. He's there. Just not, it's not there on FanDuel. I'm sorry, DraftKings. For me on FanDuel. So.
What's FanDuel? Never heard of it.
My bank account sure has. Tell you that. So I mean, we could switch over to running back real quick. So, like we mentioned, it's probably going to be the aforementioned Jamal Williams, Austin Eckler, those guys kind of up top. I'm going to pull up my ownership numbers here, just to kind of get the chalk out of the way and see.
Ken Walker's popping for me right now, which is weird.
Yeah, I got a little bit of Ken Walker here,
which makes me love Geno a little bit more. If I'm being earnest.
Yeah, I get it. And according to my my website, your boy Joe Mixon's is popping as well as far as ownership.
I got Joe around 10.
Yeah, I'm about 10, 15. So yeah. I could see that.
And I'm fine playing him at that own percentage if I'm being earnest.
Surprisingly, I've got Bijan on FanDuel as the highest owned running back.
See, that's FanDuel.
DraftKings, he's pricey. He's $8K.
Well, I have Austin Eckler over here for obvious reasons.
Let me see what's up with real quick. Real quick before we hash out the rest of the ownership, how do you feel about the Indianapolis situation now that you know that there's no Zach Moss?
I was gonna comment on that just because I see Deion Jackson gaining ownership right now too.
As he should. He's $4,100.
Like Deion Jackson is not an efficient runner of the ball, so he like his prowess in fantasy comes from his receiving game, in which like if you just take Anthony Richardson based off his college career, he doesn't throw to running backs. So
I think it's a garbage play. I think it's hot garbage. I think people should not be using that. I mean, you want to talk about access to a ceiling? There is none. It's like, oh, he has to do at 41K. Catch 10 balls, but Matt Ryan ain't back there no more. So exactly. This is a running quarterback, and like you said, he ain't even do this at Florida. So like, what do we even talk about here? So no, it's an auto fade for me. Like I'm not doing that.
That's just an easy fade for me, if I'm being honest. Like I just don't see how he gets there without the receiving ability.
Right. Absolutely. 100% agree. 100%. Yeah, I just switched over to DraftKings. Yeah, you're right. Ken Walker he's on and popping right now. I can see why. You know, no injury designation this week, clean bill of health, etc. But like,
am I missing something though? Am I missing something on Ken Walker?
I mean, the Rams are sauce.
He's still sharing this backfield. He doesn't have a passing down role, and he could be losing goal line work. That's speculative because we haven't seen it in the regular season, obviously.
Of course.
But like, if he's not getting 102 or 100 a touch,
hey man, yo, I just pulled up the ownership numbers for DraftKings. Yo, why is J.K. Dobbins cutting in at 5%? Yo, I'm playing him. I might lock him. I might be altering some lineups. Hey, y'all for real? Y'all are not playing J.K. Dobbins against the worst run defense in the world. And that can't be a real number. No. I can't believe that the general public is not thinking about playing J.K. Dobbins against Houston at home. Are we serious right now? So Baker, you need to talk to me about what I'm looking at right now.
I mean, we talked off air and we've mentioned it since we've been on air. Like J.K. Dobbins is a play. And I can't say it any clearer than that.
A play. He might be the playmaker.
He might be the piece you need to take something down. You're not wrong.
Serious right now? Like, okay, all right. Listen. There's there's things that we look for at the running back position. Of course, goal line work, home favorite, the majority of the carries, etc., etc. J.K. Dobbins checks those boxes and more, and he's got the matchup. It's the same exact thing when we're dealing with Brian Robinson Jr. and Antonio Gibson. I mean, I was thinking about you on the way home, actually. No homo. You know what?
I was going to say all homo.
All homo. I was thinking about you on the way home. We could have a situation in Washington, just like the old school Saints days with Marky Mark and Alvin Kamara. This Sunday, not for the whole season, but this Sunday in particular, I think both Brian Robinson Jr. and Antonio Gibson can get there in a multitude of ways. I'm not saying I'm playing them together in a lineup like we could back in the day, but this is CJ2K and Lindale White.
Oh, God.
Dude, Arizona is laying down, okay? Laying down. Scorer McLaurin is going to play tomorrow, but, do you need him? Do you need Jahan Doxson? Do you need anybody? No, you don't. And Sam Howell's going to be kind of popular. So just go to the running game. You have two running backs that, what is J.K. Dobbins 6K on DraftKings, right?
61?
61? Oh, fine. Whatever. And then Antonio Gibson is 51 or 2. And then Brian Robinson Jr. is 51.
He's 66. I'm sorry, 66.
Man, you could have said 71. You could have said 70. Well, 75, maybe not. But 66, come on, man. There's your two running backs right there, and then build whatever other stack you want to that's hella expensive. What are we doing? What are we doing?
See, I'm kind of on the opposite side of you on that one, though. This Washington game, I just want to get as far away from this game as humanly possible right now. I want no pieces in any way, shape, or form. I don't want the defense. I don't want Sam Howell. I don't want a running back. I don't want a tight end. I don't want a coach. I don't want a cheerleader. I don't want a fan. I am a fan, but no, I want nothing to do with this game in any way, shape, or form.
Baker, so you mean you're not eating the Commander chalk?
Defense?
Sorry. Didn't mean to bring up defenses. Sorry. Anyway.
Since when have you known me to play a chalky defense?
I never. But the mispricing is egregious. It's bad. It's bad on DraftKings. FanDuel is going to make you pay.
It is egregious. It is absolutely egregious. And I've actually contemplated playing it just because it's such an egregious. And at a point in time, it just becomes play the plays type of play.
Right.
But I don't want to travel up the leaderboard with, 300 of my closest friends up to, with this Washington defense.
Well, and that's why we're talking about these other plays. If you want to play chalky Redskins, Commanders defense, you just got to differentiate somewhere else. Again, we're talking about guys like J.K. Dobbins. We're talking about bringing the backfield of the Commanders with them. There's ways to get weird, and you don't have to get off the best play at defense on DraftKings.
It absolutely is the best play. It's the best play. Even though I do have a defense that can rival that play.
Baker, I'm only playing two other defenses, okay? And it's the Ravens because I'm playing J.K. Dobbins. I'm playing the holy hell out of J.K. Dobbins. And two, I'm playing Vegas because Russell Wilson is absolute cheeks, okay? And three, I'm playing the Jacksonville Jaguars because rookie quarterback can't throw worth a damn. He's going to get destroyed on Sunday. So those are the three. If you got somebody else, sell me. But you can sell me on defense when we get to defense. But yes. We digress.
Yes.
But,
yes.
Again, we'll circle back. Let's circle.
Put it in reverse. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry.
Backing up. All
right. So there is an interesting play, and I'm trying to wrap my brain around this because I hated him in season long. Every season long draft, I avoided him like the plague. But I might be interested in him in week 1. Travis Etienne?
it's the same scenario with these blowouts or potential blowout situations. Like, I think Travis Etienne is in a spot where he could definitely produce. I think a lot of people are worried about Tank Bigsby, which is fine, but they should be up in this game. He checks the majority of the boxes. We saw him in the preseason convert a goal line carry. Like, this is going to be his role. This is definitely his backfield. And again, if people are going to be playing Christian Kirk, I mean, get off the darn passing game and go to the backfield. I 100% agree. 100%.
And it honestly intrigues me a little bit more because obviously DeForest Buckner is a hell of a player. He's, I'm saying, a run stuffer up the middle. He can pass rush, all that fun stuff, and he's not playing tomorrow. He's already been ruled. He's already been ruled out of this game, and I think that this Indianapolis defense up the middle is going to take a huge hit with him missing. Which, like, that in itself might just picks my ears. Like, ETN, I don't like you, but ETN.
Yeah, you might find some space in your lineups. Baker, I need to propose a question to you.
I like it when you propose to me.
Remember, well, you turned me down the last 2 times, but
it's because I'm going to propose to you.
I digress. So remember the cliche thing years ago when we looked at the running back position was who plays the Atlanta Falcons?
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that still holds true.
So are you trying to sell me Miles Sanders?
I'm trying to sell you Miles Sanders. Hear me out. Minus being a member of the brand. Over 1,400 yards last year, double-digit touchdowns. Mm-hmm. He was still splitting backfield work with several, 5 different running backs and his own quarterback.
Yes.
They brought him into Carolina to be the guy. Carolina has 1 healthy wide receiver for tomorrow. So they have to be heavily reliant on the run with a rookie quarterback. And this is on the fast track in Atlanta. And Atlanta, last I checked, is still hot garbage up front. So why not take a shot on a less than 5% owned Miles Sanders tomorrow in a game that could put up points over the total? We've seen this movie before. Remember last time Atlanta and Carolina went at one another and they put up a good 80 points cumulatively? I'm not saying that, Desmond Ridder is capable of putting up those type of numbers, but no one's stopping Miles Sanders on the side of the ball. And we can get some back and forth. I'm not worried about Chuba Hubbard. I'm not worried about any of that. But if there's any game that they're going to be reliant on the run, it's got to be this one. So, Miles Sanders, under 5%. Book it. Do it. Do the things. Use some, sprinkle them in. Just saying.
And I don't want to just continue to poo-poo it, but me and my brother had the same conversation earlier because he was talking about Bijan Robinson to me. And the one thing that scares me about this game is this game can be so run heavy that it is so dog slow in pace.
All of a sudden you look up, it's halftime before another game has got through the halfway point of the first quarter.
Like that absolutely, that game is going to be the first game to hit halftime. It's going to be the first game to hit halftime tomorrow.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
And that's the only thing. Because I was talking to my brother about playing Bijan Robinson himself. And that's the one thing that scares me. I love Bijan Robinson as a play. Miles Sanders actually sounds like a fantastic play. But the pace of play in that game is going to scare the living crap out of me.
Just because it's a slower game doesn't mean that these guys can't get there, though.
And you're right. You are 100% right. I should not take everything into consideration when it comes to pace of play. Pace of play means I shouldn't stack this game, but a one-off should be fine.
Bingo. Don't stack this game, please. For the love of everything holy, don't stack this game.
Absolutely not.
Don't do that to yourself.
You couldn't pay me to stack that game.
Right. Any other running backs that you want to mention? Kind of flying under the radar here.
I was initially interested in Cam Akers earlier in the week just to get off the Tyler Higbee because I thought Tyler Higbee would be more popular.
Nope.
But now that that's not a thing, I'm off of Cam Akers. I promise you. I'm off of it.
All right.
Because I don't have a reason. I don't have to go that route anymore.
Don't have to, right? You don't have to. Like I said, we talk pivots, we talk, getting off the chalk one way or another. Like, if he ain't going to be chalky, like I said, especially now, because we've said his name about 18 times because Isaiah likely opened up. There's no point. There's
Now,
no point.
Here, I think this is one of the more interesting plays to me personally. I know how you feel about this Broncos offense, and you want no pieces of it. But Javonte's gaining ownership right now.
Fade. Why?
Well, now I'm not. I wasn't going to talk up Javonte. I was going to talk up the other one.
Oh, you talking about Samaje Perine?
Absolutely.
Go on. I mean, you could sell me on anything that you want. That doesn't mean I'm buying.
Well, here's the selling point. Obviously, we recognize the fact that Sean Payton's here. We've seen this script before. Whether Javonte's fully healthy, he's working his way back. He's like a fucking superhuman in the fact he's even contemplating playing, or he's going to play week 1.
Right.
We know that Sean Payton's going to use both these guys once, regardless, throughout the course of the season. They're both going to get toke. This is going to be Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. That's what this is about to be. I promise you that. Throughout the course of the season. So if you're telling me that Javonte is garnishing all this ownership, I'm perfectly fine playing the person in this backfield who has an equal receiving share, has an equal receiving upside. We don't know who the goal line back's going to be. They're both capable in that role. Like, they're both multi-purpose backfield people, and this Raiders defense still sucks.
That I cannot disagree with. The Raiders defense is sauce. So, yeah, all right, fair. I'm not playing them, but I can see why you would play them. Definitely.
Because just building throughout the course of the weekend today specifically, Samaje Perine just ended up a lot of places for me. I'm like, oh, I can just.
Baker, before we get into wide receiver, you want to make a prop bet?
Hit me.
You take Javonte and Samaje. I will take Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson Jr.
Give it to me. Yeah. I win.
Yeah. Okay, so now let me start getting mad. Wide receivers.
Well, let me bring up my wide receiver ownership.
I mean, y'all gotta be kidding me. Well, y'all gotta be kidding me that Devonta Smith and AJ Brown have this low ownership. You gotta be kidding me that DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett have this low ownership. Yo, this is the late swap option, right? It's right there. You run your Geno doubles, you run your Hurt Business doubles, and be done. You ain't got to get different anywhere else.
I disagree. Disagree with what? Here's the thing, and this is why I was talking about earlier, building every lineup with Tyreek Hill. I have one swap off of Tyreek Hill and one swap only.
Davante Adams?
Bingo. That's my only swap.
Why would you swap to Davante Adams over AJ Brown? I just need some logic. I just need some logic. That's all.
Bigger target share, same upside, higher ceiling. Easier matchup? Neutral matchup. I'll say neutral matchup.
Baker, do you know what AJ Brown does to man coverage?
He tends to shit on it.
He absolutely murks man coverage. And that's exactly what the Patriots run. I'm just saying. Like, okay, so Davante Adams has to go against Patrick Surtain Jr., right?
Who he shit on twice last year.
I'm just saying. Maybe he wants some get back. Maybe they make adjustments. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, Davante Adams poops on every cornerback he faces. I'm just saying. The road to success is a little harder than what AJ Brown has to go through. So AJ Brown obviously already has his rapport with the Hurt Business.
Yes.
I haven't seen Jimmy Garoppolo and Davante Adams. I've seen Derek Carr and Davante Adams. I've seen give me his name. Jarrett Stidham with Davante Adams.
Yeah.
I've yet to see Jimmy G with Davante Adams. So I'm not really a fan of now. This is the only time I'm going to say wait and see for me. Devontae Adams is on the board as a late swaption, but he's not going to supersede DK Metcalf. He's not going to supersede AJ Brown, and to a lesser extent, he's not going to supersede the Slim Reaper, who is coming in at a fraction of that ownership. He's not going to supersede Jalen Waddle, who's at a fraction of Tyreek Hill's ownership. Like, it's just not going to happen. So, again, I love Devontae Adams, the player. I don't love Devontae Adams in the fact that he's in a swaption competition with DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, Jalen Waddle, Tyler Lockett, like those guys. He would be like the last late option I go to because he's going to have higher ownership than half those guys. So I need to get a less owned player, not just a good player, a less owned player. Then
what's AJ Brown showing for you over there on your site?
Over there on 4for4, hashtag not sponsored, hashtag I should be, hashtag someone DM TJ Hernandez to get me on board. I have Devontae at a solid 8% on DraftKings.
Likewise.
And on FanDuel.
I don't know what that site is. I still don't know what that
Well, there's listeners that play FanDuel, sir, so I have to adhere to them. Devontae Adams is at 13%. Over here on FanDuel, AJ Brown is 8% on FanDuel and 6% on DK.
See, I'm showing Devontae and AJ at the same percentage.
Okay. What about DK Metcalf?
I want to call him by his real name, but I don't remember what the DK stands for.
I don't know. Donkey Kong.
I hate you so much.
Drift.
The hell is Drift? We just gonna call him Drift King for the rest of the season.
Drift King Metcalf. I'm down.
That's what we're calling him for the rest of the season.
I'm down.
But Drift King, he's at 11% for me. He's at 11% for me.
Okay, well, I guess that really depends on how far I really am behind. Like, if my 1 o'clock's like really, really bust, then I'm thinking that I would just go to Waddle or Lockett or Slim Reaper in that case. If I really need to make get low.
We need to make some moves.
Yeah, that's making some moves right there. But yeah, those are my handful of guys. At least at the top end. And I'm gonna give you one low end option that I already mentioned earlier. But if we're looking for cheapies, if we're looking for, your 3K ranges crappers, like, why are you not firing up Jonathan Mingo? He's literally the only healthy receiver Carolina has right now.
Adam Thielen's going to play. I just know he's going to play. I saw the news that he's going to play.
I said, okay, fully healthy receiver then. Yeah, he's going to play, but he's going to play. So again, at 3-2 on DK, you could do worse.
You can absolutely do worse. I mean, I'm kind of surprised as I'm re-looking at ownership. I'm surprised to see Jalen Reed all the way up here.
I saw that too. I can understand Christian Watson isn't playing, but what is a Jalen Reed?
Rookie out of Michigan State.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I play in dynasty leagues. I know way too many rookies.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't play dynasty, so whatever.
But yeah, Jalen Reed is a rookie out of Michigan State, and he's a damn good receiver, as he's on my dynasty team as well. So.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have got this opportunity without Christian Watson being out, right?
He going into the season, he was already slotted to start in the slot regardless.
Starting in the slot. All right, that's fine.
So he's getting a bigger opportunity, but he was already going to see playing time regardless.
All right. I'm with it. But yeah, like I said, as far as that 3K range goes, again, I think Jonathan Mingo is going to be the way I go. So
I know is that this Tutu Atwell shit needs to stop.
Hey, some Tutu Atwell, bro.
I mean, this dude's been in the league, also on my dynasty team, for 3 years now, and he's done much of nothing besides a game and a half with Baker Mayfield's trash behind.
You will stop the Baker Mayfield slander, sir.
You're only playing him because he's playing Minnesota. You're not playing him because he's good.
Correct.
Don't worry, you get to play the hurt business in week 2. So
They do not play Minnesota week 2. Oh boy. Lock. You can skip me for every quarterback segment. Skip me. I'm playing one quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Period. We'll get to week 2 when we get to week 2. Jalen Hurts.
Well, since I brought it up, I'm going to double check to make sure they are on the main slate next week.
Oh, please, God, be on the main slate. Please, Baker, don't break my little heart like that. Don't get me all hype and then say they play on Sunday night. Like, I would be so mad.
You're mad. Oh, you so mad.
They're not on the main slate?
You're on Thursday. I knew they played. I just didn't realize when they played. They play on Thursday.
Come on.
But Sully, comma, I do have something that can potentially cheer you up.
Go on.
You get Josh Allen on the main slate versus the Raiders.
Yeah. Okay, I feel a little better now.
You feel a little bit better now?
Just a smidge. Just
not a lot, smidge. Baby girl, just a little bit.
Just a little bit better. Thank you, Baker. I needed that. I needed to be pumped up a little bit. I needed that. Thank you so much for letting me know that I get to use Josh Allen next week. Again, skip me. Don't talk about quarterbacks to me. I'm playing Josh Allen, and we're done.
All right. So once again, I know you're not playing Denver Broncos. I get that. I get it. But
fucking Broncos.
But
yeah.
Considering the injury designation that's going to be up in the air, what would you, if you contemplated playing a Bronco, would you take the gamble on putting Jerry Jeudy in your lineup? Obviously, if he doesn't play, you switch off of him.
No. If he's active, is he active? You know, like he's the emergency receiver just in case someone else gets hurt. You know, I need to see that. That's a wait and see for me. I'd have to wait and see on him. I mean, obviously, redraft leagues, Jerry Jeudy is going mighty high. Over Cortland Sutton in basically every situation that we have. But I gotta see it. Just like with Jackson Smith and Jigba in his wrist, I gotta see it. I want to see Jordan Addison's roles in this offense. Again, he's listed behind KJ Osborne right now. I gotta see it. It's the same thing with his injury designation for Jerry Jeudy. I just gotta see it. I can't run the risk of playing him. If I was a 150 builder, yes. But you're talking me in single entries, I will not use Jerry Jeudy in a single entry. No way. Can't do it.
It was just an interesting thought process of mine. Just because I think whatever he's going to project as far as ownership, I feel like that's going to get cut in half.
My lineup would have to be literally dead in order for me to late swap on to Jerry Jeudy.
That's fair.
So I'm like, 0.2% own Jerry Jeudy because of his injury designation? I guess so. But I guess my 1 o'clock players have to fail in order for me to consider that.
They'd have to fall completely off the face of the earth.
But at the same time, I'll be completely transparent. I'm not really playing too many 1 o'clock players. Like, I'm taking some shots, like, your Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins, using the Commanders defense. I'm just going to do it. Using the Ravens defense.
The Tampa guys.
Mixing run backs with Cleveland, in those kind of mini stacks. I'm not running full game stacks. Yes, the Tampa guys, the Minnesota. Only Minnesota exposure I have is actually in Baker Mayfield lineups. That's it. I don't have any minis with that game. I'm literally selling out in some lineups with that game, and the rest, I'm not touching it.
I can see that, though. That makes a lot of sense.
I'm just like, I'm so high on this game. I got to have a Viking and a Buck in every lineup. Nah, Buck that. I just got a couple lineups stacking that game, and then everything else. But yes, I still do have late swaptions set up for just in case the Baker Mayfield one fails. But again, but at the same time, like, if that stack fails, it's GG no re anyway.
Basically.
So, like, I mean, I could bring some lineups back from the cut line, but let's say Justin Jefferson has a meh day, and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin have meh days, and Baker Mayfield obviously doesn't get there because their receivers didn't get there, et cetera, et cetera. That's 4 guys.
And Jay Jett is not cheap, so.
Right. So it's like, who could you be late swapping to anyway at that point? That's why I like my quarterbacks late. Like, I like my stack potential late that I can get on someone else.
For this week, I do. For this week specifically, I do. Obviously, it changes week to week.
Yeah. You can't build like that every week. Whatever, but still.
For some reason, I keep finding myself on minis with Deontay Johnson and Christian McCaffrey as well. That's been something that's been building a lot for me today.
I'm fading that game, and it's probably going to be to my detriment, to be honest. I mean, more power to the people that are going to play that game, but I don't know, man. CMC
it's a risky game to get into.
Yes, that's why a lot of people probably won't be in it.
And I mean, obviously, it's nothing besides preseason hype as we're getting into real games. But Kenny Pickett's been looking fantastic. We know Deontay is going to get a bunch of targets, and for the love of God, he better get into the end zone this year.
The Miles Sanders touchdown regression incoming?
Yes,
perhaps. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
But like that's been a mini that I've been on a lot today. I feel like there's going to be a decent amount of my lineups with Deontay Johnson with Christian McCaffrey because I think Deontay Johnson's still the alpha in this lineup. I know a lot of people love George Pickens, especially in redrafts, but I think Deontay's still the alpha. And there's no ownership going that way. I feel like Christian McCaffrey's even still coming in a little bit low as far as ownership, if I'm being honest.
I mean, you know how the CMC thing goes, man. He's always going to be the most expensive running back. Period. And it's like, do people want to pay that price tag, especially when you're gonna leave out Justin Jefferson or you're gonna leave out Tyreek Hill? Like, one of those guys are gonna be X'd out because you're using CMC. So
see, now that's the crazy thing with a lot of the pricing that's opened up for you. You aren't.
You can go stars and scrubs. You can.
Like I can run Isaiah Likely, Jalen Reed in the Commanders defense. And I have the world to build with after that.
And the chalky ass lineup. Get out of here. I don't do chalk in these streets, okay?
You need a little chalk.
I'm using the Commanders defense like everywhere. So I'm playing some chalk. I'm just gonna get absolutely freaking weird everywhere else.
You're playing Baker Mayfield. That's weird enough.
Hey, man, playing Miles Sanders. I'm bullish on J.K. Dobbins tomorrow. Like, there's going to be some weirdness, but it's weirdness that makes sense.
Well, here's the thing. Me and you are both going to be on some J.K. Dobbins. So, while you're at your brother's house watching football tomorrow, I'm cheering some J.K. Dobbins right there with you.
Absolutely. Wonderful. When
I get my first sweat of the season in week 1.
You and me both, sir. You can do your thing on DraftKings. I'm gonna do my thing on FD, and we'll meet right in the middle.
Absolutely. Get the week 1 takedown, and just keep it moving.
Yeah, just cruise the rest of the year. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. Hey, can I before we get into tight ends real quick, because we definitely do not need to spend more than 2 minutes there. My boy Ian Harditz is back, right?
Are we back with the chopper?
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
You know who came out?
The chopper's already landed.
Yep. It posted at midnight.
I kind of forgot it was midnight. Who landed?
Brian Robinson Jr.
I'm not on the chopper, bro. I'm not gonna be on this chopper. I'm just not.
To your detriment, bro. Listen. Okay. Here's the Millie Maker. Three running backs you need in the Millie Maker to win. Okay, listen.
Oh, we're going 3 running backs in the Millie.
I'm doing 3. I'm gonna put one in the flex. Okay, I never do that.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna do it this week. All right, you're gonna need some Brian Robinson Jr.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna need some J.K. Dobbins.
Okay.
And you're gonna need some Miles Sanders. Those are the hair. Do it.
So you're telling me my flex is gonna go at 1:00?
Unfortunately.
You're telling me to have my flex go at 1:00?
Hey, listen. Okay, listen, Baker. Listen. calm down. Calm down. Okay. If you have your stack set up at 4 and use those 3 players at 1, if they succeed, stay with the chalk. If they bust, run away. It's easy. It's easy. Listen, get your Justin Herbert lineup ready. Get your Tua Tagovailoa lineup ready.
Those lineups will be up and fired.
Absolutely. Right. Get those ready. All right.
Yes.
If you want to sprinkle in some hurt business, like I'm going to sprinkle in some hurt business, get it ready. You got your Geno lineups ready.
Yes, I will.
Just run those guys at 1 at your running back positions. If they fail, run away. If they hit, you stay, and you already know cumulatively that's like 10%, no, 2% in the same lineup. Baker, it's right there.
I will see what I can do to build a lineup with those 3.
Baker, just use those 3. Run Geno, Lockett, Metcalf, and run it back with Tutu Atwell. Baker, if you don't want to use Tutu Atwell, you know who you can use, right?
I'm using Tyler Higbee.
You can use Puka Nakua.
We're back to this again?
That's the other receiver.
We're back to Puka. What the?
Puka Nauka. Puka Nakua. Noka.
I'm just going to run the plain white boy and Tyler Higbee.
Puka Nuka.
Fuck all these crazy ass names out here in LA. I'm running the simple white boy and Tyler Higbee.
Puka Nuka. Do-do-do.
Higbee.
Anyway, perfect segue to tight end.
Thank you.
So you are bullish on Higbee because of the ownership. I 100% respect that. These, I don't think, have updated because the Isaiah Likely news is they have not.
Mine has not.
Mine hasn't either. So that's whatever we're looking at right now is going to completely change.
But the weird thing is, I'm currently looking at Njoku being the chalk at tight end, which just sounds dumb to me.
All of it's going to change.
I know.
All these numbers, you can throw them out the freaking window.
And this is why we're going to revisit these numbers on Sunday before we build lineups.
Correct. The only 2 players that at tight end that I was considering is obviously Evan Ingram at a lower percentage and Baker.
No.
Baker. If I'm using Miles Sanders.
I'm not using Triple H.
No. Why would I use Triple H in the revenge game?
I didn't realize that was a revenge.
That's a revenge game, bro.
We found our revenge game on the slate.
We got the revenge narrative already, baby. We got the revenge narrative. But again,
right, lock in Triple H.
I mean, that would be freaking hilarious. But no, Triple H plays for the same side as Miles Sanders. So why the hell would I use 2 Panthers?
If you say the name
on the other side, Baker.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I tried to take a year-long bet, not a week 1 bet, a season-long bet with the guy who's up in Minnesota. Yo boy, Tyler Higbee versus Redacted. He is redacted for a reason, Sully.
As you noticed, I didn't actually say his name. Because he is redacted. Until tomorrow.
He's not going to be resurrected. This isn't fucking Easter.
Baker.
No.
You should totally consider.
Not even a little bit.
You should consider.
He's not.
Playing.
Nope.
All right, I won't say it. Any other tight ends you got?
Here's the thing. So you could literally tell me right now. That you're going to put $10,000 in my hand to play this man. I'm telling you, go fuck yourself.
Listen, I mean, I respect that. I respect it.
Because here's the thing, period point blank. If at any point in time in the season I get put to bed by that dude, I'm fine with it.
It's funny how you're not going to make it to 4:00 when he puts you to sleep at 3:50.
That's fine. Deal. Because Tyler Higbee will outscore him.
To bed.
Because Tyler Higbee will still outscore him this week. That's the fucked up part.
All right. All right,
If
Baker.
he puts up 102, Tyler Higbee's putting up 203.
All right.
By the way, if Tyler Higbee puts up 203, I quit fantasy
That ain't
sports.
never gonna happen. Stop.
Just know if that does happen, I've won all of the monies.
Well, you're on Higbee. I'm on Evan Ingram. Anybody else that we missed, like, could kind of sneak under the radar? Because everyone else is going to be low owned because of Isaiah Likely. So, I mean, we don't really need to play who you want.
Absolutely. Now, somebody that I was on before this likely news broke and before we had weather issues here in Cleveland was actually Big Irv. As a part of a Joe Burrow stack, exclusively.
I mean, the Browns used to be, members of the flow chart.
Oh, they were a funnel for the tight end.
Absolutely. It's who played the Cardinals, who played the Browns. Play those tight ends. Move on.
And you want to play, if you're going to play anybody else, you're contrarian. Go ahead.
Right. Absolutely. So I get it. 100% get it. Defenses, if you don't play on DraftKings, the Commanders, you're pretty much contrarian. We alluded to it earlier. Like, we kind of mentioned our defensive takes. So, like, refer to that earlier in the show. And to be honest, like, FanDuel is going to be a little different because they are priced up. If you can get all the way to the Ravens for the extra $100, I'd do it. If you want to play up to be contrarian on DraftKings and get all the way up there, then that's fine. But other than that, I'm not really too worried about ownership when it comes to defense. So, I mean, did I miss anybody?
I mean, I am dumbfounded. Like, I get why, because everybody punts defense, but right now Tampa's at the second highest ownership on DraftKings.
That's hilarious.
I get it. People punt defense, and they are the cheapest, one of, if not the cheapest, but absolutely not. My other defense is actually Seattle.
I respect that.
Because, I mean, this Rams offensive line can't block me, and I am fat and out of shape.
All right, fair.
I think Matthew Stafford's going to be running for his life. I honestly think he's going to be running for his fucking life back there tomorrow. So pressure is going to be a thing. Seattle's going to be able to score. And we know Matthew Stafford, he is prone when he's under pressure to turn this ball over. So,
oh yeah, man, we can count on Matt Stafford for some picks, baby.
Yeah,
we can definitely do that.
So I am honestly, I think I'm going to end up running Commanders defense just because I hate my life. But in lineups where I'm not running Commanders, and honestly lineups that I'm not running Geno, I'm probably going to run Seattle's defense.
Again, I don't get why people want to punt to the Bucks when you could just pay the extra $100 to get to the Raiders.
Because
Russell Wilson's trash, dude. He's trash.
I think the Raiders defense is worse than Russell Wilson.
I guess that's going to be put to the test tomorrow, man. I don't know.
Because Russell Wilson's a late swap for me, homie. Like, you talking about swapping the hurt business, I'm swapping to Russell Wilson.
The problem is, I think people are going to actually play Russell Wilson.
Hold on, let's check this Russell Wilson ownership, because like there's no way people are playing Russell.
People are playing Russell Wilson, man. You're gonna see him at 8% and get mad. Watch. I'll wait.
I'm looking at him at 4%.
I call bullshit.
I'm looking at him a percentage higher than Baker Mayfield.
Because people are getting hip to Baker Mayfield.
And he's also, like, Baker Mayfield and Justin Fields are in the same tier ownership-wise. No, they're both just really low.
I know. I'm hyped.
That makes me just want to play Justin Fields just to be like, hey, give me this.
It's not in the 1% crowd.
Give me this 30% upside. Fuck it.
I mean, Justin Fields can break a slate whenever the hell he wants with his legs.
Yes.
I 100% agree with that. I mean, this is time to take a stab, right? I mean,
I think
Green Bay ain't good.
That defense was like meh last year.
Right. It ain't good. They got a quarterback that don't need to guard a wide receiver. So, I mean, ever. So
my naked Justin Fields can be run back with Jalen Reed. There we go. I'm in the building.
Jalen Reed, dude.
I'm in the building, bro.
Oh my God. All right, Baker, before we get out of here, obviously I need to know your slate breaker for tomorrow. You mentioned it was Joe Mixon the other day. Have you changed your mind? Are you sticking with Joe Mixon, or did someone else pop up on your radar to say, yep, you need this guy in your lineup tomorrow?
It's still Joe Mixon, bro. I am still very bullish on Joe Mixon. And unless we get a tsunami here in Cleveland, I'm sticking with Joe Mixon.
I mean, it's not going to be a tsunami, but even if it rains, they're going to lean heavier on the run. So, I mean, yeah, get some extra toke from him. So I get that.
So yeah, Joe Mixon is my slate breaker. That's who you need.
Understood. My slate breaker is I'm going to stick with the trend here. J.K. Dobbins is going to be the guy you need tomorrow. I mean, Houston is dog water. And like, again, if everybody's going to go to this Isaiah Likely thing and just ignore the fact that J.K. Dobbins is going against the worst freaking run defense on the planet, at home, favorite by almost double digits, the writing's on the wall, and y'all don't want to play him. Oh, what about Lamar? I get it. They added all these receivers for a reason, so he doesn't have to do the dirty work in the red zone. So, J.K. Dobbins, over 100, multiple touchdowns tomorrow. You will need some J.K. Dobbins in your life for a takedown. Just saying.
All right, so my first lineup that I'm going to build tomorrow morning is going to be J.K. Dobbins and Joe Mixon. Okay. I'm moving on.
And I will see you at the winner's banquet at 7:30 or 7:30, 8 o'clock tomorrow. Like, Baker, what was the haul? 1 point what million?
Well, you know everything's getting duped into the Millionaire Maker, so.
You got to beat 1 point in the $5. You got to beat 1.1 million other freaking lineups.
I'm not taking down the Millionaire Maker week 1. I'm just not. There's too many lineups to go up against.
Big facts.
I'm just, like I say it all the time. I'm gonna win $1 million. Not week 1.
Not week 1.
Not week 1.
Yeah. Shout out to whoever takes it down tomorrow. You. Pat on your back. Pat on your back.
Pat on that person's back when their lineup is all one-offs. You know what's gonna happen. Don't give me that look. You know that bullshit's going to happen.
That's gonna piss me off to Kingdom Come, bro. Oh my God.
Like, you know it's going to be random quarterback, random running back, random.
No correlation whatsoever. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're going to screenshot it to the group and be like, this bullshit took down the Millie.
I'm going to be like, and this correlated freaking goodness over here only won my 100 single.
Right. All this theory that we talk about is going to hold the L in the Millie Maker. That's exactly why we don't suggest people enter the Millie Maker.
Like, my beautifully correlated lineup that took first place last year would have came in third in the Millie Maker. What the fuck?
Exactly.
To a bunch of one-offs.
With a bunch of one-offs. Oh my God. Yeah, man. Good luck to everybody in their contest tomorrow. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out. If you haven't, head over to YouTube, check out the DFS Daily channel. And as always, we're going to go ahead and close up the shop, and I'll see you all at the top. No outro music because they keep freaking copywriting it, and I don't like that shit. So, Ben Sound, you kiss my, so I don't care no more. Just playing. Good luck, everybody. I'll talk to you guys later.
You're so angry.
Peace. I know. I'm mad. I'm mad, Baker. I'm mad.